Hello Fantasy RP gamers, Menacer here, your favorite Mega Mecha pilot. Today, we're going to review the Feng Shui 2 character archetype, Supernatural Creature. Technically, the supernatural creature is a monster or spirit from the underworld of Feng Shui 2 that can only originate from China's ancient past. However, you can work with the GM to easily create a were creature, vampire, or similar monster. The way you describe how your character damages and destroys enemies can have their descriptions upscaled the higher you roll, so with that in mind, you can really play any monster trope you want. The official weaknesses of supernatural creatures are some sticks of exorcist monks and magic hops, as well as certain magic and the schemes of sorcerers, but nothing is stopping you from role-playing additional weaknesses. If you want to. But you don't have to. Let's take a look at the supernatural creature's character sheet. Looking at the top right of his page, we see the icon for the ancient past juncture of Feng Shui 2 and no other juncture symbols. This means the game designers intend for this character archetype to only hail from around the year 690, and there is nothing wrong with that. I played a supernatural creature who used to be a Deathgate guardian of the underworld, and that was a lot of fun. If you have your heart set on playing a different monster trope, don't be afraid to work with your GM to bring it to life. By the way, look into hopping vampires. That's a thing. I first heard of them when learning to play the Savage World of Solomon Kane. Looking at the Awesoming Up section of the character sheet, we see only one pool of sticks that supernatural creatures are meant to look through when advancing. Sure, you can work with your GM to choose sticks from other pools, but keep in mind that this game already has martial artists, gunslingers, and magic users, etc. You are the only supernatural creature, so you might want to focus on things that you can do that other characters in your party can't. We also see a limited number of skills to choose from when advancing, if desired. Keep in mind that all 36 character archetypes are awesome off the shelf without ever having to level up. It's the roleplay and supersizing of descriptions that are going to make your character memorable, not a long list of extra mechanics. The bottom of the Awesoming Up section is the same on every character sheet. Now let's take a look at the supernatural creature's sticks. The first one is Conditional Escalation. You gain +2 to creature powers if at least one of your allies has accrued 25 or more wound points, or +3 to creature powers if any of them are down. Creature powers is a stat used by the supernatural creature to attack with, make knowledge checks, and other things. I played through a mini-campaign with the supernatural creature, and this stick never came into play. Damage is generally spread out, and unless there are boss enemies, your party is expected to do well. There is something interesting that can make this come into play: the self-sacrificing boost. Usually, one player can give another player a boost by spending 3 shots. When doing this, you can choose to give another player either a +1 bonus to their next attack, or a +3 bonus to their defense against the next attack coming their way, and to every other attack coming their way that occurs in that same shot. If you want, you can spend a fortune point when giving another player a boost. This will increase the bonus to their next attack to be +2 instead of +1, or will increase their defense to be +5 instead of +2. The self-sacrificing boost works the same, but instead of costing 3 shots, it costs 0. As a 0-shot cost interrupt to any attack, any hero may boost another by taking 25 wound points. Describe the self-sacrificing thing you do to give the boost, and feel free to take some time and ham it up. This is a big moment. It doesn't have to be something that you do. It can be something that you describe happening to you that will highly motivate your friend. You take the 25 damage, and your chosen ally gets a boost at the speed of an interrupt. If you want, you can spend a fortune die on a self-sacrificing boost. The next stick I want to bring to your attention is Transformation 1. Transformation 1. You may change back and forth from your true form to that of an ordinary-looking human being. Describe the single human form you can assume. While in this form, you can't access your other creature powers. In combat, it takes you 3 shots to transform. In any other scene, it takes about 20 seconds. The important thing to notate here is that when you are in human form, you do not have access to your supernatural creature sticks. You still have access to your action values, except for your creature powers attack. When in human form, you can use any other type of attack at an action value of 7, just like anyone else can. Also, Note that this stick is named Transformation 1. This indicates there might be a Transformation 2, and indeed there is. I invite you to look it up. Natural Weapon. Your creature power's attacks occur at close range, striking your opponent with spines, claws, jagged teeth, or another monstrous body part of your choice, dealing 13 damage. This stick is self-explanatory as long as you are in the form of your supernatural creature. Amphibian. You can easily move, breathe, and fight underwater. Again, this stick is self-explanatory as long as you are in the form of your supernatural creature. Regeneration 1. Your wound point total decreases by 2 at the beginning of each sequence. This is obviously helpful and implies the ability to slowly self-heal outside of combat as long as you are in the form of your supernatural creature. Gruesome Appearance. When in monstrous form, you gain the Intimidate skill at an action value of 12. This is the reason why you might not want to stay in supernatural creature form all the time. People will at first flee from you, but eventually they will grab their torches and pitchforks and hunt you down to kill you. Inhuman Physiology. The medicine skill works to heal you only if the doctor using it was trained in the Ancient Juncture or Netherworld. This is important to know. Sure, you can self-heal, but you are no Wolverine. Doctors trained in the current day, future, or colonial era past are not going to be able to help you. If no one in your party is trained to heal you, either the GM will use this as a plot point, or you can make an out-of-combat creature powers check to find or spout lore on someone who can fix you up. The supernatural creature has no listed skills, but of course he can make unskilled checks at a rating of 7. Having the drawback of inhuman physiology and having no skills is for gameplay balance, same as having no backup attack. If you want to have a skill and or a backup attack, you can talk to your GM about what to take away from your character or extra things to give to other players, etc. But remember, you are the only supernatural creature, and this is a big deal. In addition to being your primary attack, Creature Powers gives you access to know a lot of things that many of the other players don't. You know the supernatural rules that govern your existence, and can identify other common and not so common types of magical entity. You can find the lairs of certain other creatures, friendly or not. You are familiar with reputations and careers of famous monsters. Similarly, you are aware of legends and rumors surrounding notorious magic cops and exorcist monks. Though you don't have all the creature powers, you have heard of them, along with other sticks that hose you and your kind. You know the locations of haunted places and other locations amenable to supernatural creatures. You know a number of sorcerers, some of whom you hate bitterly for summoning and controlling you. Over the years, you have encountered other supernatural creatures and ghosts, some of whom you can locate in a pinch. Use all this as a guide to help create the story world you play in, just like the other players and GM will be doing. Moving along, the supernatural creature's defense is 13, and his toughness is 7. Magic is a supernatural creature's version of fortune points, and a supernatural creature's speed is 6. His wealth is poor, and this is great for role-playing. Is your supernatural creature a kleptomaniac? Maybe money just isn't the currency he deals in. If not, what is? Does your character live in the sewers? Does he live in a van down by the river? Have you played a supernatural creature in Feng Shui 2? Leave your story down below. If you haven't already, be sure to check out my video on the Transformed Crab. I go into more detail about the character action values, and I explain the wound point tracker and marks of death. Is there another character archetype you want to know more about? Or do you have any other questions? Leave your comments below. I will be making more videos on Feng Shui 2, so be sure to like and subscribe.
It's